Welcome back to Hot Takes, where bad opinions go to die. It's me, Bilbo Dripkins, and Zach, aka DJ Gel Lad, on the mic.
Goodness gracious. God, that was an intro. Anyway, let's move on to our first hot take, and this comes from Booga Louise FC. And they said the Champions League should change to a league format. That's the only way the best in Europe can be decided. Hashtag hot takes.
I've got a script to write. I've got a podcast to prepare for. Tomlinson was supposed to be on this. Where is he? Captain Cop with his feet up
no idea.
at home.
No idea. But Booga, my friend.
Okay, my thoughts on this. What was it? Yeah, essentially, that is wrong, and you are an elitist pig, my friend. You remember when 5 or 6 teams from the Premier League were trying to whip up a
Super League
motion, a support for a European Super League? They said they were going to replace the Champions League by 2021. That was in 2017. Is it happening? Because the footballing community came together and said, you've got enough money. This is stupid corporate greed.
Yes.
How dare you even try and think of replacing the Champions League, which for me is just
beautiful.
Perfect. I mean, look at this season's Champions League. It is simply stunning. Yeah, for me, I mean, anyone siding with the motion that
we take all the best teams in Europe and create a single league is stupid. I think you forget how fun the knockout stages can be. It's not about the long game with this, it's about 1 or 2 games. It's all it comes down to. Anything can happen in 90 minutes, and that's the beauty of the Champions League. As you said, Chris, this season we've seen it, and we've seen it in every Champions League season. There's always one team that makes an incredible comeback, or like the Spurs-Man City game where Man City think they've finally done it. And then there's the whole away goal rule, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I tell you what, if there's any sort of clear indication this is just for the super rich, not clubs with, you know, a distinct, an amazing, unrivaled pedigree. It's the fact that Manchester City were involved in conversations to be involved in the Super League. What right did they have to be there? You know, when 5-6 years ago, not 5-6 years ago, 10 years ago now. God, time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? Richard Dunne was winning back-to-back players of the season. Players of the season?
Do you mean
Richard Dunne?
Yeah.
Dunne. Decent film though.
Goodness.
Decent game.
Goodness.
No, Dunne was a book, right? Or a game?
No, Doom was a game.
Yeah,
Doom was a game.
Anyway, Richard Dunne was winning back-to-back, was it maybe Fans Player of the Season, or Stephen Ireland was winning one of them. That, my friend, that history should expel you from any conversation about being in the European Super League. Anyway,
You also, if you're a smaller team,
what were we talking about?
if you're a smaller team, you've got a better chance as well of winning it. If you're a big team like Manchester City or Manchester United or whatever it is, Chelsea, Juventus, over the long term, you can lose a game and still win the league. Whereas the beauty about the Champions League is a massive team like Bayern Munich can get beaten by Ajax, or like Real Madrid can get beaten by Ajax, a smaller team, which in a league wouldn't necessarily happen so much, and have a chance of getting through to the final. That wouldn't happen in a league. You lose the fun of it. You lose the away days. Yeah. That's all I've got to say.
Always going to away days, as always.
All the time.
On the road again. Oh, that was your foot.
It was. Just before we move on to our next hot take, make sure you guys have subscribed to Football Daily and click the notification bell so you are notified of every single FD video we upload. It takes 3 seconds. Can you hear that, Chris? I can hear someone screaming for help. Let's go have a look in the FD dungeon for a spicy hot take.
Okay, so it's hot take time, and my hot take, because I've only been asked this about 5 minutes ago via text message by Mr. James Wayne behind the camera, is that Pogba should be playing football for Juventus next season, and this just seems bloody obvious. So why would he want to play for Manchester United? You know, last game of the season, despite having the most assists and the most goals, I believe, is that correct? For Manchester United season, who gives a shit? You know, expected goals, real goals, doesn't really care, because all that matters is who wins the trophies, and he's going to do that at Juventus. He's not going to do that at Man United, at least for the next 5 or 6 years, because they're going to keep chopping and changing managers. while Pogba's in his prime, and that just seems such a waste of such a supreme talent that is Paul Pogba. The man who, you wouldn't quite say led France to the World Cup last summer, but he was a pivotal part. He needs to be playing Champions League football. He needs to be winning trophies. And with the quality of players that have got Juventus, he stands a far better chance of doing that at Juventus. Because let's have it right, end of last season, Paul Pogba was made a bit of a scapegoat by some of the Man United fans at Old Trafford, which was just a bit ludicrous. There is so much more wrong at Manchester United than just Paul Pogba. You know, the fact that, let me quote a great man here, Louis van Gaal. He said that Manchester United is run by businessmen, and that is spot on. They need to get back to the fundamentals that make Manchester United, and it pains me to say it, arguably the greatest club on the planet, but they're so far from that right now. You know, just bringing in one or two players, that's not going to do it. They need to fundamentally change the way that they operate at Manchester United, and that's not going to happen. You know, for even if they start now, that you won't see the benefits of that for maybe 3 or 4 seasons. So if I was Paul Pogba, get out of there now, go and play for Juventus. At the very least, he's going to pick up a couple of Serie A's, isn't he? If not a couple of maybe runners-up medals in the Champions League. So yeah, Paul Pogba, why be make a scapegoat when you can become a hero back at the old lady? That is toothpaste, by the way, and not cum.
Okay, so I didn't know who that was. Very thick floors here. Yeah. Thicker than the back of Jelab's neck.
Leave it out, yeah? Jeez.
But if it was Mikey, thanks for rubbing your all over the Stat Wars belt this morning. No one really wins now, do they?
Yeah, everyone's a loser.
Smeg, everyone.
Oh, I hate that word so much. Moving quickly on to our second hot take, and this comes from Tamish Bahal. And they have said, Cristiano Ronaldo shouldn't have won the MVP award, the most valuable player in Serie A.
Right.
Christopher Hamill.
You were breaking this down for me earlier. What were you saying? Because there appears to be in Italy a lot of individual awards for positions, but then also a most valuable player. It's like in Sports Day. What's going on? Everyone gets a sticker, don't they?
6 awards. The MVP, best young player, best goalkeeper, best defender, best midfielder, and best forward. Cristiano Ronaldo won the MVP, which is kind of considered the best one out of them all.
But how can you win best MVP and then not best forward if you're a forward who's won the most valuable player?
Because the best forward, which was Fabio Quagliarella, yeah, that geezer.
It's like a Harry Potter spelling
it really is.
Quagliarella!
Yeah, he scored the most goals this season.
Yeah, 26.
Which he deserved, and also got a lot of assists. I think it was like 8 or something like that.
8,
fair play to him. Whereas Cristiano Ronaldo, I guess if you look at his value that he's brought to Juve, in scoring in big games against Napoli, against Inter, against AC Milan, goals and assists that have decided essentially winning 3 points, and also the kind of attraction he's brought to Serie A this year, that may have been that swayed the vote per se.
Right. Well, I mean, what would they have done without Ronaldo? Probably still win an 8th Serie A.
Yeah.
Dybala probably would have got the goals like he did the season before.
Yeah.
To be MVP for a team, or to win MVP when you're on a team who are just in cruise control most of the time, is an absolute joke. I'd have given it to the goalkeeper at Cagliari, because I'm currently doing some research on him for the podcast. Won 8 Man of the Match awards, only bested by Ronaldo, who won 10, but we all know bullshit. Duvan Zapata. What about Duvan? Didn't win best forward, should have won best player. I mean, if we're talking MVP, you know, on a side that is punching well above their weight, then Duvan Zapata is the man. 23 goals for a side who've spent jack shit. They've got an old boy at the helm in Gasperini, knows what he's doing. I think the forward line is, the average age is about 31, 32.
But he's not the most valuable player.
They're the real heroes here.
He's not the most valuable player.
He's more valuable to Atalanta than Ronaldo is to Juventus. Bang.
So that's not how you get the award. You get the award by contributing important goals and also being, I guess, the best player in a squad that won the title.
Zapata contributed to the same amount of goals, well, maybe not assist-wise, to the same amount of goals scored, whilst being on a vastly inferior side. There was a massive
did he win the league?
Talent deficit. No one's won the league apart from Juventus.
Exactly.
Yeah, who won MVP last year? Google that. Was it another Juve player?
100%, probably.
Ciro Immobile won it last year. There's your underdog.
Yeah, but he
There's
scored a
your
madness
hero.
amount of goals.
There's your overperformer. Ronaldo, I would say that 20 goals is the prerequisite at a side like Juventus, who are taking the most shots in the league, who are scoring the most goals, I mean, most years, this year again, and have the best creative talent.
Zapata's going to do nothing next season.
Peppa Pig armband.
Absolutely nothing next season.
You'll do nothing next season.
He'll do well if he gets 12 goals
You're
next
fired.
year, mate.
Great. Get out.
And that's that, innit? Moving on to the final hot take, the hot take which is non-football related. And Aslan Stalev.
Well done.
Aslan Stalev.
Well done.
Your hot take, mate, is atrocious. Roast chicken is better
Chicken.
than fried chicken.
Oh, that is bad. Assen, you've made an ass of yourself, mate. All right? Because roast chicken needs copious amounts of gravy unless it's done on a rotisserie.
Exactly.
A rotisserie. And who has one of those rotisseries in the house? No, it's your old dear. She's whacked it in the oven. She's got a lot of things to take care of. She's
Still watching the potatoes.
zooming around the house. 10 minutes later, the chicken's overcooked. It's dry. You're putting mayonnaise on your Sunday dinner to make up for it. Fried chicken, very hard to get wrong. Extremely hard to get wrong.
Grilled chicken goes above roast chicken, for God's sake.
It does. It does. And let me put this to you, Asen. When you've had an arse full, when you're absolutely on one, do you go, oh, God,
You know what I'm going to have?
I'd love to smash some roast chicken roundabout now.
No.
No, you don't. You say, get me to a Maryland, get me to a chicken cottage, get that 99p burger with the little hash brown on top, down my gullet. No one goes for roast chicken, do they, when they're pissed? And when you're pissed, we all know that's when you display what you really want. That's your true self.
That's your emotions. Think about the averages, right? We're not talking about a fantastic roast chicken. We're talking about an average roast chicken and an average fried chicken. Which one are you doing? Maybe your mum is fantastic at doing roast. However, think about the mean, think about the average. Back to maths now, okay? Which one is topping the table?
Well, are we still rolling? Because James just highlighted the fact that we forgot to mention the versatility of fried chicken, and he's got a very, very legitimate point. You can put any sauce you like on it. I like blue cheese sauce, garlic sriracha. I've gravitated towards that since I got a little bit more coin in my pocket. It's the Waitrose of sauces. You can put it in a bun. You can do, like, you put up your bum if you want.
Put it in a wrap.
You can do anything with it. What can you do with a piece of roast chicken? Put it in the bin. That's what you can do.
That's good.
Dry. So that was Hot Takes for another week. Please let us know what combination of FD presenters you'd like to see in the comments below, and we'll probably won't make it happen because people don't make themselves available for the shoots, and I inevitably will end up doing it.
Indeed.
Zach.
You lovely people at home, if you want to see more of this great fun, why not head over to FDFC, check out Squad Goals, check out the new series of Awkward FIFA, where our first episode of Patrick Van Straten is live. We ask him who he feels most comfortable with naked. The answer will surprise you.
It's not the fancy Haitian.